Thanh tẩy. Biết là bắt giờ đó ta.
Is there something you need?
What can I do for you?
How can I help you? Well, here's what you're obvious. Could you help us?
Can I help you?
Could you help us? Ori needs you.
Listen to me.
This worries me. They took hostages and killed an ambassador in front of everyone. It gets worse. Just before the explosion happened, Zephyrian ran off. I know. I was going to go back myself, but someone needs to look for Zephyrian. Can I ask you to go look for him? I think I heard Zephyrian say something about bugmen. Always strive to be better than today.
Đù, má ông lê cái tay nó kìa. Má gì phê vậy? Biến cái tay tao thành vậy được không ông lê?
Something wrong?
Yes! Oh, come on! Perfect. Oh, come on!
quầy đủ mấy lỗi kìa. Quá nhiều đường dữ em. Rễ mộng mơ. Cái gì vậy? Quý lộn ơi, ngon bất lợi. Đù má rương tinh xảo. Phải, rìu cẩm thạch. Khiên thép, rìu cẩm thạch. Má này nè bui tăng cái đồ hết nước chấm. Tên. Máy nổ nữa. Hello anh trai.
Ah, damn it! I can barely see your face. My vision's going all blue. It was a trap, like I thought. Something hit me in the back. Whatever I was hit with is paralyzing me. I can barely move. Oh no. Come on. Lat, damn it all! What any lats named it that? I don't know who she was. I could tell it was a woman with a shield, but she ran away too fast. You have to report this. Someone's making a move on the Holy Mission. No, there's no hope for me. I'm a dead man either way. Lad, let me go. If you can't save me, don't waste your energy. Just make it quick.
Má này chết luôn ta. Má tội em trai thế.
What can I do for you?
Seriously? The Cardinal announced that Zefarian was killed, but didn't give any details. Ilat's breath! Why? Why would someone do this? Things aren't well here in Monsoon either. Oliel was arrested.
Lập quẹo.
I don't believe this! I can only hope. What do you need? I can only hope. Well met, friend. I can only hope.
Mày sao bắt con mô lê rồi. Nó làm đéo rồi đâu. Mày công nhận nó có cái tay điểm mỏi cúp. Mày thả nó ra cho tao.
If this is about that woman I locked up, I'm not changing my mind. Unfortunately, that doesn't change the fact that she's here under suspicion of murder. Are you trying to bribe me? I suggest you think very hard. Have you lost your mind? Why would I agree to this? If this is about that, unfortunately, that doesn't change the fact. Are you trying to bribe me? Have you lost your mind? If this is about that, unfortunately, that doesn't change. Have you lost your mind? Why would I agree to this?
Má. Tiền không mua được là vậy.
If this is about that unfortunate, or else what? Excuse me? This is my city, not Ilat's. What do you take me for? I beg your pardon? If this is unfortunately, that doesn't change the fact. Are you trying to bribe me? I suggest you think very hard about that decision. If this is about that unfortunate... Are you trying to bribe me? I suggest... All right. I'll take it. Take her and get out!
Vậy. Trời ơi, má cái tay vậy điện. Đúng ánh sáng thần thánh cái khác.
I'm grateful. This worries me. I fought back to defend my friends. It was an accident, I swear.
Cái sức mạnh nó mạnh kinh được.
I found something in the Berg archives. His ascension and the arrival of the Scourge, they were nearly at the same time. I have to wonder if Elat himself was the source of the Scourge. I'm going to the Abrasa Desert. I wonder. Always strive to be better than today. Well met, friend. That may be for the best.
Well done.
Oliel must find her own answers. I will place my faith in her. Doubt is the first step to understanding. Understanding is the first step. Some of them have become complacent in their faith. If only I could. Once I bestow my power on someone, I can no longer take... The poison that he was struck with contained more than just venom. I bestow my blessing upon you.
Giao thức tâm linh thần thánh ban phước. Giao thức tâm linh. Đây rồi. Mày skill 4. phép à?
Well met, listen well. Because Oliel should be in the slums of Levant. Oliel should be in the slums of Levant, in the Abrasar Desert.
Greetings, friend!
Hey there!
Hội Mai La cực độ. Này ở đâu vậy? Thuốc chiếu sáng. Thuốc độc. Giáp runic. Giáp relic. Giáp relic. Relic armor. When are you? Đùng mấy cái áo lôn gì đây đẹp dưới. Scarlet Trooper. Scarlet. Á đù. Đù. Quầy máu 4.500. Giáp đẹp á. Kìa xấu quá.
Is there something you need? Is there something you need?
What can I do for you?
with gold lich armor from the antique plate armor, which nearly breaks the game when enchanted with economy, used by the guards of Levant, those entrusted to protect royals and keep the peace. It can be bought in Levant or the guards of Levant. Those in the water to be fully protected. 45% physical, make sure you're said, why not use something like Master Trader armor that does all of this but better? Manticores, Buzu, Trogs, Poisonous is however pretty safe crossing water that would instantly kill with a Trog. More people should be aware of keeping the Entomber. Yeah. What's going on, guys? Thank you for checking out this Outward video. If you haven't guessed it yet, we are talking about my new favorite build. This Disc of Death playstyle makes use of enchantments, skill cooldown reduction, totems, and much, much more. Ouroborean's faction, plus 5% movement speed, plus 5 pouch capacity. Sar Chakram, which has the highest physical damage of any Chakram currently in the game. We will also need to grab the Frozen Chakram and the Sunfall Axe. The Frozen Chakram is sold from the Ouroborean Caravaner for 2,000 silver. Very expensive purchase, but it is ridiculously good. The Sunfall Axe can be acquired from the Stone Titan Caves in the Abyssar Desert. Just read all the runestones there and it will appear at the very bottom of the cave. As far as armor goes, we will be wearing a full set of antique plate armor. This is crafted with the blacksmith in Harmattan as long as you can provide him with some silver and 3 shield golem scraps. These scraps are dropped from the larger golems that use magic. One can be scraps. These scraps are dropped. Stats you Pearlbird's Courage, Vendavel's Hospitality. You can craft the chest plate outward, and aside from the Scourge and holding on, we can look at Leyline Figment, Scourge Tears, and one of the immunity. The helmet makes you 100% status resistant to Plague. The chestplate makes you 100% status resistant to Holy Blaze and Mild Petrification. Then, the boots make you 100% resistant to Blaze. You can literally walk around Caldera getting hit by all kinds of attacks that inflict you with effects and never catch anything. The resistance to Plague makes the mask extremely useful for using Shriek, and almost makes me wonder if the Gazite had something to do with the weapon's creation? Mild Petrification is extremely annoying, as it leads to you being petrified and dying even if you're at full health. The chest plate negates that completely, and honestly makes this set pretty darn strong. Well, in any little out of game and has very little negative stats for a heavier set of armor. The helmet can be crafted with Gep's Generosity, Pearlbird's Courage, Elat's Relic, Haunted Memory, Leyline Figment, Vendavel's Hospital, Calix's, as it was in the base game. The interesting thing, however, is the weather defense at all. Pervious to any weather type. Gives you a on this set to make it usable all the time. Probably do something like wear only your character than most Vendavel's Hospitality. The Hospital Leyline Figment only offers 3 protection to the user. However, it makes you practically immune to lightning damage with 90% lightning damage resistance. It also has a surprisingly low pass down use. The check for boss armor as it is. This is physical tiers. Capacity. Already mentioned the elemental element. Buff this with Cabal Hermit skill tree element small amount below. That reset each region by the set has head toward the giant spot 90% lightning resistance, which means you're pretty much immune to lightning attack. It even twice will seriously threaten your life. However, also get massive damage resistance to very deadly elements. It is a really strong armor set for mages, but the real reason it is number 1 on this list is most this virgin armor gives you some negative stat resistance and 0 resistance to element. Armor bonuses don't really increase mana trap. This is because you could probably one-shot a lot of bosses if it did. What does scale with armor bonuses is the mana bomb. This occurs when you buy more skills from the Rune Mage and gain the ability to set a mana trap and explode it remotely. The remote explosion does scale with a lot more before running out of stamina. Shinsha. Welcome, everyone. Our primary focus for this build will be to create a character that combines lightning and ethereal damage to the maximum. Start by heading to Monsoon and joining the Holy Mission faction quest, Weather Defense. And later there on a case at Ghost Pass. We will primarily be using this tree is the Rune Sage, which helps out the tree will give us an extra 40 stamina to perfectly round out our character. Additionally, we and honestly Berg and Puncture from Burak with the sword equipped. Finally, grab the Lightning Boon from Mofat and Monsoon and the Ethereal Boon from Cyril Turnbull and Berg. So far, our character has absolutely no armor, but possesses the ability to have 65% more damage to lightning attacks and 40% more damage to ethereal attacks. Already shaping up to quite powerful, so let's move right along to weapons and armor. You will need to stop by the Voltaic Hatchery in Chersonese and grab Lightmender's Lexicon. This offer takes away your discipline boon, and honestly, it's just more fun to use anyway. That might be all the skill trees we need, but now you must grab the extra tier 1 skills from the other skill trees that we did not directly use. Specifically, grab Efficiency from the Speedster and Harmattan, Rage from the right along to in order to get the white Arcane Hood. This will give us another 5% damage increase to lightning and ethereal protection. The Arcane Hood chance of 100% and it gives us 10% to both ethereal and lightning damage. Not only that, negative enchant this piece of armor with 8, but that is why we grabbed the extra 40 from the Warrior Monk. I would also enchant this piece of armor with Aegis, but that is the chest plate protection and ethereal Arcane Hood. This will give us another 5% damage increase to lightning and ethereal, plus 10% more mana reduction and 1 protection. The Aegis enchantment is the best on this helm for an additional protection. You can get the Arcane Hood from chests in Endmerker Forest, but it only has a 5.6% chance of dropping. Instead, head over to Levant and buy it from Smooth the Tailor. 100% chance to find it there. The chest plate we want only fits perfectly with our runic skill tree, but it gives us 10.
Runic Armor. Phép reset rồi. Phép reset.
What can I do for you?
% damage increase to lightning and ethereal, plus 10% chance of stamina % to both, which is gives you, and they are a bit more annoying to get. You will need to craft them with the blacksmith and Harmattan, but this a bit more. The boots for this build are the antique plate boots, and they are a bit more annoying to get. You will need to craft them with the blacksmith and Harmattan, but this requires you to have a shield golem scrap. They always drop. If you're not up to the challenge, then you're going to want to search ornate chests in the antique plateau. This can take a while, so I suggest you suck it up and kill that fearsome golem. These boots give us 3 more protection while also offering 5% run with this build damage bonus. Boom. You may now be amazed. The backpack to run with this build is really up to you. I preferred Zorn's hunting backpack when playing since you have more carrying capacity than most backpacks, and that stamina reduction is amazing. However, for the purpose of this build, we will be running with the Light Mender's backpack for an extra 10% lightning damage bonus. You will have a slow dodge in fights if you wear this one, but this build can do insane damage quick, so you might not have to worry too much. I'm going to stop here in terms of stats and items because this is really all you need, and this is also what I played with for this build. However, I would like to mention a few things that you could do to bulk up even more. One thing is to carry around a shield. You will need a lexicon to cast your runic sword, but then you don't have much to block with. Harder enemies may be challenging with build. Buffed, our damage in one single spear thrust will hit with 74 lightning damage. You have lightning enemies such as a you. Step 1, he will teach more damage and impact if you miss, only damage if you miss, but still give you some result. Next, this is a lightning and plus 8 hot and cold weather defense. Infuse light, which grants us assistance, skill help. Lastly, we get Elat's intervention, which grants 2 barrier and 9. You deal 85 damage with no buffs at all. With our throw it down and use spark. You deal 85 fast weapon that deals good impact, meaning it isn't necessary for us. Also, Wind Sigil is one of the highest sources of damage in the game, considering you just throw it down and use spark. You deal 85 damage with no buffs at all. With our lightning buffs, we will have this easily reaching much over 100 damage every time you cast spark. The breakthrough is going to buff our damage with boons active, and conjure actually can be used with lightning sigil as a way to deal over 200 damage with only our chestplate enchantment. Untold power without anything else. I highly recommend grabbing this tree early as a Wind Sigil clears over half the game, so I recommend taking Hex Mage instead of this one. However, I personally think next, head over to Levant for the Rogue Engineer. Be aware that if you are to replace any skill tree in this build, I recommend taking Hex Mage instead of this one. However, I personally think Rogue Engineer works like a charm, and here is why. Sweep Kick is nice to have, especially since it instantly knocks enemies afflicted with confusion. Stealth Training is also nice because it grants extra stealth, although I rarely find much use of it. The entire reason for using this skill tree is the Breakthrough, Feather Dodge. This is a skill that is S tier in Outward and can even be powerful if you use a backpack that doesn't impede your dodge roll. The skill lets you dodge unimpeded with any backpack and decreases the stamina cost you use. We will with no care in the world, as it costs you almost the backpack we want does use. We will already have a fast way thing. This is my builds, as it offers too many things to pass up. Bracelet, we have our two. This will often kill many enemies right out, and those who don't die become too weak to do much after that. It's very useful and powerful 100% of the time. Flash Onslaught should always be used at the beginning of a fight because it does high damage and inflicts confusion. That makes them much weaker to impact damage.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Is more damage or more interesting place will feel relative. Let's take a look at this faction gives us. You need to succeed best to stay out of the enemy's way. I'll choose 5 points. Additional elemental damage and defense. Maximum mana and constant mana. Additional fire resistance was to create edge. Gives us this build is blessed, which boosts our lightning damage, additional mana regen, and of course the mage tent, the light mender's elixir. The mage tent is off with the rebel priests. Answer all of the hatchery. Our mana cost by 15%. The red clan sage robe. This is a legacy item from the of 30%. Runic lantern and blessed. Before a runic trap inside the sigil, we lure an enemy to our trap and it will detonate automatically. Then we cast conjure to create a lightning strike at the wind sigil. For our trap loop, we cast Sigil of Wind, then we put a runic trap inside the sigil. We lure an enemy to our trap and it will detonate automatically. Then we cast Conjure to create a lightning strike at the wind sigil itself. It's worth noting that you do not have to stand inside the sigil to cast Conjure. We can also summon a ghost to help us distract the enemy while we spam runic lightning. To do that, simply cast Reveal Soul on a dead human enemy and then cast Conjure. You can restore 50% of your max mana by casting Reveal Soul on a dead enemy, but instead of casting Conjure, you use the Spark skill afterwards. And finally, to restore health, you can cast Runic Heal with Egoth and Dez, but just note that this does consume your protection buff, so be sure to recast it after you use this heal.
Chậm xét, xét chậm phép, đâu có phép đâu. My guys, Cái giáp này mà cái set bonus trời.
RPGs. So, builds in Outward. I have lately been making a whole lot of guides on Outward to be able to help people to understand the game a little bit better. And this build that I have right here, it's a very, very beginner friendly build. It's not going to take you through the endgame bosses, I have to be honest with you, but likely not every build that you make, it's not going to take you through anything or everything in this game. When you get to the end game, you actually have to be switching stuff to be able to fight those end game enemies. But for the main campaign, the main world exploration, now the first. It's a good side, it's a bad side, but it's a frost weapon. Brunt is one of my favorite games, and if you so decide to, if you so want to, you can get this very early in the game. To get this thing, you need 3 things. You need to travel to Monsoon. I did not remember if it's a phylactery of some sorts, but again, you will have it on the screen right now, and also you need a hammer. The hammer, you will ingredients for the weapon. What you have to do, your is going to sort. You need
phép thuật.
Three things. Indeed, an amazing, hugely amazing skill. And then it's going to increase your Ideally, this one is going to be swapped. Why is that? My discipline increase, I am always in love with those numbers. When you buff yourself, it's going to give you 83 damage. Remember that Brand is also going to inflict chill and pain on the enemies, increasing the frost and physical damage they take, and the frost on the enemies. I want my discipline boon to be active, and then I can use an ice banish to increase my frost damage, and as you can see, all that because I want my cool boon to be active. I want my discipline boon because I want my cool boon to be active. I want my discipline boon to be active, and then I can use an ice banish to increase my frost damage, and as you can see, oh boy, I am always in love with those numbers. When you buff yourself, it's going to give you 83 damage. Remember that Brand is also going to inflict chill and pain on the enemies, increasing the frost and physical damage they take, and the frost damage that you have, oh boy, it is amazing. So yes, this build hits like a goddamn truck, but also, like I told you before, you hit like a goddamn truck, but also you explore like a goddamn maniac, like you're wearing steroids, like you were always marijuana, like you will get rage. You have spell Blades Awakening, it will burst an elemental explosion from you, and the elemental explosion, it's not just a tiny explosion that it's going to do like nothing. No, dude, trust me, we have for the alchemy, yes, cold bane, south story that chefs all around the world in every
What can I do for you?
How can I help you?
What can I do for you?
Yeah, boy. Warrior build. This is a creation of mine that originally was going to be a joke build, but actually turned out pretty okay. It's not OP or anything, but it does have some interesting perks that make it stand out. The main idea behind this playthrough is light. I wanted to be as bright as possible, and you probably already noticed my gear is very illuminating. We're obviously going to make use of the Virgin Armor to fit our theme and get a nice glow. Unfortunately, the Virgin Armor set mostly sucks. It has some interesting enchantments that make it glow different colors, but it's very mediocre armor. That being said, there are 2 or 3 enchantments that do buff this set to be pretty darn good. One being Rascal's Verve, which we will make use of here. It essentially lets you block any attack in the game and not get knocked over. Well, all but 1 or 2 attacks that are actually impossible to block. But you can just stand there and block with a simple sword forever. Kind of a cool idea and might be nice in co-op, especially if your buddy needed to heal up or something. So here is the Virgin Warrior, and let me know what you think in the end. Even though our sword deals main part too much, but still lets you use, you want the full Virgin set. This can be enchanted. The Undead Mini-Boss in the Necropolis Tower puzzle variant. This one is build more power ever in order to have some out on some weather defense for it, so it's a pretty nice glow stick. Our bright wear if you'd like it. The Radiant Wolf Sword is the last item we need to complete our Bright Warrior, and you need to take the Holy Mission faction quest to get it. You can enchant it with whatever you like, really. I didn't mess with weapon enchants for this video, so you can get a bit more power there. Enemies will run, like I said, dry of that precious resource. Very much other passes to man, 10% sword, and I quest more man. The Char fix. This is one of the cards. Is running is possible, though I don't have these 2 fast enough to use whenever we choice for 2 reasons. Loads of so we can constantly letting you dodge free in the all around back on. Also decided on this skill, sword times of varnish is definitely around in 2 or 3 bright as possible and with as much impact as you can get. And moon and you as shield. The made ideas, resistance, and blocking any melee attack.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this quick tutorial on how to enchant in Outward. Today I just want to run through a quick guide showing you run over to me in the 4 pillars, those as well will do. Next, we place our placement should be NF, EC, WC. The first well. Oh, and also grab the required weapon from the Enchanters Academy to do in order to enchant a piece of gear. So let's enchant something together. First, we head on over to Ryan Sullivan, the Arcanist in Harmattan. You can find him inside the Sauraborians Academy in the Leyline Connection Room. We are going to you can find him inside the Sauraborians Academy in the Leyline Connection Room. We are going to purchase everything we need from him. Pick up the enchanting pedestal, 4 pillars, and the priest prayer scroll. This enchant needs 3 lunar incense, so grab those as well. Oh, and also grab the required weapon from the blacksmith in Harmattan. Any virgin weapon will do. Next, we place our enchanting table. I always place it facing north to make things simpler. Now the scroll says pillar placement should be NF, EC, WC. The first letter is the direction and the second letter is the distance. So for example, we need to place the pillars north far, east close, and west close. So let's do that like this. Once that's done, let's put the required incense in the pillars like this. Great, the difficult part is over. Now all that's left to be done is place the weapon on the pedestal. And if you placed everything correctly, you press T, it should start a loading circle, and there you go. Your weapon is now enchanted with the Priest Prayer's enchantment scroll. Do you have a circle? And there you go. Your weapon is now enchanted with the Priest Prayer's enchantment scroll. Do you have a
Hello there, that came with the Soroborian's DLC guide, because there are a lot of things that you should know about this new feature gained from enchantment. I'll show you a bunch of different enchantment effects. You should know that developers intended to make the process of enchanting experimental. Start with the system itself, and in the second part of the video, I'm going to show you a bunch of different enchantment effects. You should know that developers intended to make the process of enchanting experimental. That's the reason why you can see the actual effect of different enchantments. So showing you these effects can be considered as a light spoiler, but I'll leave that for the second part of the video, and if you truly wish to experiment, you should probably skip that part. However, enchanting is very expensive, so if you don't want to waste your money on experimentation, you'll want to see those effects. That being said, let's start from the beginning. The items that you need for enchanting can be found in Hermatan from the Arcanist in the Sorobor Academy. Enchanting Pedestal is the first item that you need, and you can place it on the ground by clicking on the item from the inventory. How you choose to place it on the ground is actually important, but before I get to that, let's see all the items that are related to enchanting. Besides the Enchanting Pedestal, we have enchanting pillars, incense, and recipes for enchantments and incenses. When you place the pedestal on the ground, you will need to place the pillars around the pedestal. This part is really important because you can't just place the pillars randomly. Well, actually you can, but nothing will happen. When you first start to read a recipe for a particular enchantment, you might get confused. You'll see the name of the enchantment, what incense you need, pillar placement, and what items you can enchant. Pillar placement is the confusing part, but it's actually really easy to understand. The first letter represents the direction: north, east, west, and south. The second letter indicates the distance, C is for close and F is for far. So if it's NF for example, that means north far. But how do we define the distance in the game? What is close and what is far? According to Outward's wiki, close pillars should be about half a body length, less than 1 meter or 3 feet from the pedestal. Close pillars are not so hard to place properly, and here are some examples of well-placed close pillars. Far pillars can be a pain in the ass if you don't get the distance right. Far pillars should be about 3 body length, about 6 meter or 18 feet from the pedestal. Here are some examples of well-placed far pillars. Once you get the feel of the distance, this will come naturally to you. When it comes to compass directions, this shouldn't be too confusing, just follow your compass. I always place the pedestal towards north, so the front of the pedestal is facing towards south. I would recommend doing this in order to avoid confusion. Each pedestal is facing towards south. I would recommend doing this in order to avoid confusion each time you set up the pedestal, because this way the direction will always be the same. Once you place the pillars accordingly, you will need to put the right incense inside the pillars. As I said before, you can check what incense you need by reading the enchantment recipe. In order to obtain different incense, you'll need to find the recipes and craft them on the alchemy table. The Arcanist in Hermatan can sell you a couple of recipes, but you'll find more while you explore the Antique Plateau. The last step is to place the piece of gear that you want to enchant on the pedestal. You can place whatever you want. Enchanting recipes will allow you to enchant different items. You can see what items you can enchant in the enchanting recipes. For example, Spirit of Monsoon enchanting recipe allows you to enchant silver armor and ash armor. The first line will always recipe what items you can enchant. Enchanting recipes will allow you to enchant different items. You can see what Hermatan can sell one you can enchant in silver armor and ash armor. The first line will always show you the type of an item you can enchant, and the second line is for the quality type. Some enchanting recipes will have additional conditions like a particular location or the weather. For example, Inner Warmth recipe requires hot weather, so you'll need to be in Abrasar Desert. Let's see how this particular enchantment can be done properly. I set the pedestal towards north and I started placing the pillars accordingly. For this enchantment we have East Far, south close and west close. The end result should look something like this. Once we set the pillars accordingly, the result should look something like this. Once we set the pillars accordingly, we need to put the right incense in them. This particular enchanting recipe requires Admiral Incense. If you have any additional pillars on the ground, the enchantment won't work, even if you place the rest of them accordingly. You should keep that in mind. After that, the only thing left to do is to open the pedestal menu and place the item you want to enchant. This enchantment works on virgin and fur, armor, helmet and boots. I took the helmet as an example, and once you press the enchant button, all you need to do is wait. When it's done, you will see the triangle icon in the upper right corner. That means that the item is enchanted. And if we press V, we can see what this enchantment added to our helmet. Inner Warmth adds 10 fire damage bonus and minus 15 ethereal resistance. It also changes the look of this item. Most enchanted items will get some kind of a glow, like this mace for example, this item. Most enchanted items will get some kind of a glow, like this mace for example. That's pretty cool, I would say. And that's pretty much all you need to know when it comes to enchanting. But like I promised in the beginning, I will now show you the effects from all the enchanting recipes that you can buy from the Arcanist in Hermatan.
Game nó bú đá gì chơi. Cái đi con mày ngáo gì vừa chứ. Vãi cả cứt thiệt. Má. Cho tay Tết để nhận. Máy ghi sai luôn á. Này là kỹ năng bậc 2 mà. Conqueror Medal. Này là búp ngẫu nhiên nè. Tăng một bom tùy thuộc vào vị trí. Đù mấy cái búp đây ngon quá, bây giờ điếu còn điểm nữa. Có móc và tăng điểm kỹ năng không nhỉ? Đặt lại điểm đột phá này. Quá phê. ปืนลุง
Hey there! Hey there!
Giật cái mà.
Hey there!
Mà để chụp hình nữa.
Hey there! Hey there! Hey there!
Greetings, friend.
Xét luôn một xíu bây giờ cái
How are you?
Listen to me.
How are you? How are you? How are you?
Listen to me.
Máy nó quằn thế nhờ.
How are you? How are you?
Listen to me.
Kết ấn gió để được tiếp thu.
How are you?
Listen to me.
Red Ant. Má nhức cái đầu quá, 100 ngày ông đậu mày à, đổ má đau đầu quá.
Ah, greetings.
Hey, listen! Put 'em up is the plan.
Want me to train you? Want me to train you?
Đéo này.
Welcome to Sorbor Academy.
Put 'em up. I'll train ya.
Tố khi mệt mỏi.
Give me a moment to think. Is there something you need?
I think you're right, bro. đánh công. Núi lửa em chưa đi lần nào luôn mà.
Huh. This terrain looks usable.
Here's what you need to do.
I'll get to work on preparing blueprints and schematics for...
I've got experience with prospecting. I'll examine...
Good. Come see me as soon as you can. We've got building plans to lay. You'll want to get... We have to keep... Also, here's the plan. This is bad. So, what are we working on today? So, what are we working on today? We're grateful to you.
Mấy giờ mình có mà thiếu xài được mới đâu chứ. tin vui. Hello má, cứu cái não tôi với. What the fuck, cái đéo gì đang diễn ra vậy? Ôi trời ơi, giờ ta phải làm cái
If
đéo
we're going
gì
to make this
đây?
settlement work in the long term, I need you. Well, so there you are. Here's what we need. Get it done. Oi! Over here!
Fun, of course. If we have.
How can I help you?
So, what are we working on today? So, what are we working on today?
Má thấy sao vời quá. Má thấy sao vời quá. Không có chất thường xét à? Hai lăm sức thương va chạm này. Mà chủ yếu là một gì mà nó không ghi.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
This can be bought from the black 3-piece instantly. You will need what I guess
Nhang đô đốc. tay gần. Nam gần Tây gần. Có gì xảy ra? Đã phải đầy luôn máy xài. Xài sách. có. Nam gần, Tây gần, Đông xa. Má điên thiệt rồi chứ.
Bulls and damn every fight as bright as less combat. Do this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this quick tutorial. And west close. So let's do that like this. North far and this place our enchanting table are always so for let's do that like this. and west close. So let's do that like this. North is A. I just want to chant roll. This required chanting should be east close. Over correctly with the priest pushing and incense in the pillars. North the direction and the second letter is the distance. So for example, we need to place the pillars north far, east close and west close. So let's do that like this. That's done. Let's put in the pillar.
không được. Trời ơi. Máy nó cày vãi lùn luôn này, đây dốt vãi.
Left with T, it should start a loading circuit.
Yeah, boy. What's going on? It's not OP and get a nice glow and not get knocked over. Well, even though our sword deals use of simply a bad armor set, get knocked down fast. Bird. We will use the glow damage view that costs you with plus shards and blue much more mana as enemies in place, which is just really great. Skills to deal all this skill furnish is as bright as possible. Fast and strong.
Máy nó mệt, quá mệt rồi. Tí cũng được vậy. Má thời tiết nóng. Hèn chi. Cái lồn máy điều kiện nữa. Lộn bú đá rồi trời ơi.
Rồi, từ từ đã. Nghe xem nốt cái này đã. Đóng cổng kiểu gì đây? Giờ mới để ý đi con mẹ. V-off ạ. Cay vãi lều. Bên kia là V-on, bên này là V-off ạ. V-off. Cái lồn mé.
Đây là Grab Việt.
Xin chào mọi người, mình là JB aka BJ. Thì năm nay là mình
hỏi thử xem.
cái thí sinh CCMC
bao
là
tiền?
một viên ngọc ẩn của Grab Việt năm nay. Đồ phát thì mình thấy cũng là khá là
Giọng rất bẩn.
rất là đón chờ và chỉ diễn của hai người ở vòng tiếp theo.
Đây là Brad Việt.
Xin chào Brad Việt, mình là huấn luyện viên Michael Carrick.
Khazik.
Năm nay á thì mình thấy chất lượng các thí sinh rất là tuyệt vời. Đặc biệt có sự có mặt của rất nhiều boy phố. Mình nghĩ năm nay sẽ là một mùa giải tuyệt vời để các rapper trẻ có thể thể hiện mình cũng như là
đây là Brad Việt.
Hảo nè.
Hút bóp ra không có gì đâu.
Rồi.
Cười đi em, đừng khóc nhé. Mình sẽ nhau cơn lệ cứng rơi ở miền trời đợi cho ta. Xin chào tất cả mọi người, mình là Big Teddy.
Mình là Sugan.
Sugan. Big Teddy với cả Sugan.
Rất vui khi được Viop tin tưởng và giao cho trọng trách và ban giám khảo của chương trình Grab Việt. Mình rất nóng lòng được chiêm ngưỡng các tiết mục của các thí sinh trong chương trình Grab Việt năm nay.
Viop ạ, còn mẹ.
Và hãy đón chờ Grab Việt trên Viop.
Su thì Su thấy là năm nay Su đã có kế hoạch riêng cho mình tại Grab Việt. Chờ đón Su cùng các thí sinh của mình để đi của năm nay nhé.
Cay vào lêu.
Đây là Brad Việt.
Xin chào Grab Việt, mình là CCMK.
Em đang ngồi lên xe ai sợ đầu ôm vai làm chặn phía vai. Thấy em đang đắm say trong em trong
giới thiệu còn mẹ.
Vai các chờ quay phim, nơi tình yêu bắt đầu. Hiện tại thì mình đang làm chủ một doanh nghiệp Soi X hỗ trợ X Việt Nam.
Chủ doanh nghiệp Soi X.
Phải đến với chương trình thì mình rất là tự tin. Goodbye, hẹn gặp lại anh ở đấy.
Goodbye và hẹn gặp lại luôn ạ. Đến với chương trình thì vô cùng tự tin. Goodbye hẹn gặp lại luôn ạ. Sân khấu trong club đúng không? Cay. Mặt chú rể nhìn cay vãi lều rồi đây.
Đây là Brad Việt.
Cá nhân Big Teddy cảm thấy là bạn CCMK này đã có đầy đủ tố chất trong con người bạn ấy rồi. Về với đội của Teddy thì mình cam đoan là mình sẽ khai thác những cái điểm mạnh của bạn ấy để biến bạn ấy trở thành một ngôi sao.
Vẫn hòn.
Rick thì Rick không có chọn bạn này, nhưng mà thực sự á, để mà suy nghĩ lại về cái lực lượng của đội Rick á, thì thực sự cần một con người khắc chế boy phố, cần một người khắc chế boy phố, vậy nên là
Quang Ngu.
Welcome to JB thì đánh giá là thí sinh năm nay.
Ui, em nhím mà bảo là em nhím chuẩn bị qua các bạn ạ. Đợi em nhím qua rồi mình mở chứ nhở. Ai mở trước em nhím buồn đấy.
Thí sinh không biết rap.
Đợi em nhím qua rồi mình mở ấy.
Ok đấy.
Cái gì? 16 á? Tao dùng iPhone 14.
Đây là Brad Việt.
À, mày biết tin gì chưa? Mấy thùng tiếng Anh đang ở bên Gia Lâm rồi đấy. Tao vừa đặt ship sang đấy lấy rồi đấy. Đặt phải nhờ người nhà mình ship bên kho Misi chạy lấy sang bên Gia Lâm lấy mấy thùng tiếng Anh về, tí nữa về đến đây này. Ui, tí nữa sau đang livestream này anh em mình mấy thùng tiếng Anh về là mình sẽ bóc ở trên stream cho các bạn xem mấy thùng tiếng Anh. Mình sẽ chỉ sâu ra thôi. Còn xong rồi mình sẽ phải chia mấy cái thùng đấy ra cho cả mấy anh em nữa, xong rồi bắt đầu là mấy buổi sau mình mới mở mấy thùng tiếng Anh sau. Bây giờ là mình chơi tí hôm nay mình sẽ chơi phần tiếng Nhật. Nhưng mà cho tôi nghe lại bài này một lần nữa được không? Thề nghe nhạc buồn cười quá. Này là cậu Phát hay là CCMK nhỉ? Hình như là giọng cậu Phát hay sao ấy chứ? Hay CCMK ta? Giọng cậu Phát với cái flow đúng kiểu cậu Phát.
Cầm tay là bay như 8 lít, bạn cùng quay vì hương thu nắng viết chẳng bậc lá đổ say trong vòng tay trắng tuyết. Cứ được cầm tay em thấy cái
CCMK à? À CCMK à? Ui. Yeah CCM nhé cô bé nhân viên. Cái đạch mợ. Cậu phát chắc tập sau. Yeah. Xem là đặt cây những con nào. Dã man đấy. Quên. Thả một like. Ôi bà này hay nha.
Quá sắp điên rồi, trời ơi. Sắp bị điên rồi.
Yeah, baby, that's right.
Welcome back to my 7.000 lượt tập đầu tiên, và series này dự kiến sẽ được phát sóng hàng tuần, nên tôi rất là mong là sẽ nhận được cái sự ủng hộ từ mọi người. Grab Việt 2024 CCMK, lãng tử cô đơn đúng không? Và produced bởi Never Trash. Ok, Never Trash. Ok, ai chỉ có ly nước, ai chỉ có chai nước, đi lấy đi. Uống cái nước mà chúng ta bắt đầu thôi nào. Always stay hydrated cả. Ok, uống cái nước mà chúng ta bắt đầu thôi. Let's go. Ok, thì như cái lần reaction video trước đó cho bên Nơi Tình Yêu Bắt Đầu là cái bài mà nhạc chế căng nhất phần 2 á, thì tôi có bảo là ở cái bài đó thì có vẻ như là không có tốt bằng cái part 1, part đầu tiên. Thì tôi không biết cái này là một cái series mới hay là sao, nhưng mà tôi sẽ mong nó sẽ bùng nổ. Ok, thôi nói chung là shout out cho những người mà đã kêu tôi làm reaction cho video này. Ok, nếu mà không có các bạn thì tôi cũng chả biết cái video này nó tồn tại luôn. Ok, let's go. Ôi, từ. Lấy nhạc rap Việt vậy có bản quyền không vậy? Nhưng mà có sao đâu, giờ tôi được làm reaction cho rap Việt mà. Giỡn. Ý là sao nữa? Việt ốp nó kìa,
Đây là Rap Việt.
Xin chào mọi người, mình là JB, aka BJ. Thì năm nay rồi.
Sao nữa?
Nó không bị nóng hay cái gì không nhờ?
Ôi, mệt ghê á. Là sao? Nội, là sao nữa?
Mình thấy là
giới thiệu giám khảo mà có chia ra phần nữa nè. Giới thiệu giám khảo, rồi phần thi, rồi kết thúc nữa hả? Đồ. Chưa hiểu lắm nha. Ok.
đây là một viên ngọc ẩn của Rap Việt năm nay.
Ôi vậy?
Một phát thì mình thấy cũng là khá là một đối tượng tiềm năng, rất là đón chờ.
Ôi vậy? Tự khen mình luôn hả?
Chỉ diễn của hai người tiếp theo.
Vậy ha. Vậy á.
Đây là Rap Việt.
Gì nữa? Của Jackson nữa.
Xin chào Rap Việt, mình là huấn luyện viên Michael Carrick.
Đó. Tên nó là Kazik, là đọc thì nó đọc Kazik. Mà tôi không biết mấy ông có coi Minion không? Tôi không biết hình như tôi hết cái phần nào ác nhân á, cái thằng ác nhân mà cái đầu mà cái chén cái tô, cái đầu giống cái tô á, tôi phải nhìn y chang luôn.
Má phát điên với tụi mày.
Chang. Tại vì tôi là một cái fan rất là lớn của Minion, có một phần nhìn y chang luôn thầy, phản diện á. Mặc đồ y chang luôn á.
Xin chào Rap Việt, mình là huấn luyện viên Michael Carrick. Thì năm nay á thì mình thấy chất lượng các thí sinh rất là tuyệt vời.
Sao nữa?
Đặc biệt có sự góp mặt của rất nhiều boy phố. Mình nghĩ năm nay sẽ là một mùa giải tuyệt vời cho các rapper trẻ có thể thể hiện mình, cũng như là
đây là Rap Việt.
Gì nữa?
Hảo nè.
Sao?
Hút bóp ra không có gì đâu.
Rồi. Cười đi em.
Trời ơi, coi kìa, 1 giờ tối. Cái này nè, cái này nè là 2 ô đúng không? Là tức có nghĩa là nếu mà ở đây là 1 giờ trưa á, là nó đã ghi 13 giờ rồi đúng không? Còn này nó ghi 1 giờ tức nghĩa là 1 giờ khuya tối. Ngủ không là ngủ. Đéo hiểu là sao nữa. Đó, 1 giờ không có ngủ. Tiểu phẩm. Trời ơi, là sao nữa mấy cha. Chưa vô hát luôn á, gì là sao nữa.
Hút bóp vào, không có gì đâu. Rồi. Cười đi em, đừng khóc nhé. Mình sẽ nhau cơn lệ gươm gió ông trời đợi cho ta. Xin chào tất cả mọi người, mình là Big Daddy. Mình là Sư Viên. Hôm nay thì mình rất vui khi được Vioc tin tưởng và giao cho trọng trách là ban giám khảo của chương trình Grab Việt. Mình rất vui lòng được chiêm ngưỡng các tiết mục của các thí sinh trong chương trình Grab Việt năm nay. Và hãy đón chờ Grab Việt trên Vioc.
Su thì Su thấy là năm nay
đi con mẹ đây rồi, đủ má nó mà như con chết.
chờ đó
Ghim luôn.
Su cùng các thí sinh của mình thể hiện trong vòng
má lột làm gì nó bú đá à.
Đây là Grab Việt.
Trời ơi, nó bú đá gì trời.
Xin chào Grab Việt.
Tự đóng 2 vai, tự đóng giám khảo, tự đóng thí sinh luôn. Nè thấy chưa nè, 0 giờ 31 nè, 12 giờ tối nè, thấy chưa? 1 giờ khuya, 12 giờ khuya là ngủ, đéo ngủ nè, thấy chưa? Em biết nói gì luôn á thầy. Tự nhiên mấy ông gửi tôi cái gì vậy? Là sao nữa? Là sao?
Xin chào Grab Việt. Mình là CCMK.
Em đang ngồi lên xe anh sợ đầu ôm vai làm chặn phí phai. Thấy em đang đắm say chắc em chẳng hay anh.
Mình đến từ vai cá chờ quay tiếp nơi tình yêu bắt đầu. Hiện tại thì mình đang là chủ của một doanh nghiệp xoay ếch không sợ ếch cần làm. Hôm nay đến với chương trình thì mình rất là tự tin. Bye, hẹn gặp lại.
Còn làm y chang luôn các bạn.
Nơi tình yêu bắt đầu.
Nhạc dân tổ. Cô tôi ơi. Sorry nhưng mà cái melody hay nha. Damn bro. Damn. Trời ơi cái melody, cái verse này hay mà. Nè. Nè từ từ nè. Dài thì mang một đôi Converse hay là cái gì đó, một đôi Converse hay là đôi MLB hay cái gì đó. À là 2 người đạp hả? Trời ơi tôi tưởng là chiếu cận đôi dài là đôi Jordan 3 chứ. Trời ơi mệt ghê á trời. Hai mai lên màu sao xanh chả góp nữa hả? Trời ơi. Trời ơi. Biết vậy tôi đi ngủ mẹ cho rồi. Về cái tôi bật máy nó quay cái này chi không biết.
Nắm 2 cánh tay, một mình anh vì chiếc quay từ một tay đó về một bước đón những người thương à. Lòng đường anh đâu có hay, một ngày khi vô cánh bay.
Anh hát.
Đây là Grab Việt.
Cá nhân Big Daddy cảm thấy là các bạn CCMK đã có đầy đủ tố chất.
Đây là rốt cuộc mày tên cái gì? Big Daddy hay là Big Daddy? Một tên thôi, trời ơi. Hồi thì Big Daddy, hồi Big Daddy. Mệt ghê á, diễn mà cũng không diễn không tới nữa.
Cá nhân Big Daddy cảm thấy là các bạn CCMK
Big Daddy đúng không? Xin lỗi.
Con người bạn ấy rồi. Về với đội của Teddy thì mình cam đoan là mình sẽ khai thác những cái điểm mạnh của bạn ấy để biến bạn ấy trở thành một ngôi sao.
Ho nữa.
Rick thì Rick không có chọn bạn này, nhưng mà thực sự á, để mà suy nghĩ lại về cái lực lượng của đôi Rick.
Bây giờ mày nói giọng nam hay giọng bắc, mày chọn một giọng thôi, mày cứ hồi 3 hồi mày giọng nam, mà 3 hồi mày giọng bắc hoài. Nó mệt quá trời luôn á.
Thực sự là cần một con người khắc chế boy phố, cần một người khắc chế boy phố, nên là welcome to
JB thì đánh giá là thí sinh năm nay mình nghĩ là anh Kazik lên nhường
CCMK cho mình. Bởi vì tem của JB đang thiếu một thí sinh không biết viết rap. Lối đi Mary khá là dịu. Ok đấy.
Rồi Sugar đâu? Suboy rồi đâu? Suboy rồi đâu? Là ra việc. Rồi vậy thôi hả? Tao tưởng tụi bay kêu tao làm cái gì, xong lên coi mấy này nó đóng tiểu phẩm. Tính ra nha, cái video này 7 phút, hết gần 3 phút đóng tiểu phẩm rồi, hơn chứ nè, tính luôn kết thúc nè. Không biết nói gì đó, ý là không biết comment gì luôn á, thiệt. Không biết. Thua. Chịu thua. Thầy thua. Ha. Rồi. Vậy đi. Không biết nói gì hết. Rồi đó, cái reaction nó vậy thôi. Cái là tự nhiên nó làm nhân vật Sugar xong nó không nói gì hết ta. Vậy thôi. Thôi chúc mọi người một ngày vui vẻ nha. Nhớ check qua cái series mới của tôi nha. Tôi cảm giác giống như là tôi bị lừa vậy.